Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. What's happening, good people? Every time I do this, you know what I feel like saying sometimes? Do you remember the late, great Robin Williams? He would say, "Good morning, Vietnam." They don't know nothing about that show. That's the sad part about it. They don't know. They don't know that we are 153. Maybe they do know that we are 153 episodes in. And again, it's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. And then right over there she is. Hey, Booski, Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. That's right, my BMF, my PNC, my partner. And what's happening in cosmetology? What's happening, good people? Y'all coming through. Y'all must be ready for the heat tonight. Y'all want some of this natural hair smoke. It was 420 yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Y'all want some of that. Now, I don't know about, I never tried marijuana, but I've been around it enough in my life to know. Yes. So y'all want some of this smoke tonight. Tonight, 153 episodes in, and we have a good one. And this one, now this is the one, I hope Cathele is in the chat tonight. Because it's all of, we're questioning, is culture the king and queen of natural? I should have worn my little crown. I had a little crown. I'm gonna wear one.
Oh man,
I'm gonna wear one next time. I got a crown. I have several crowns. Y'all know how it is out here. So this is a discussion, and so you are have just affectionately, if you just kind of like, oh, where am I? What's going on? What this is a cool little podcast. I got that little hair comb and they little cool glasses on. Who them be Hoppo? I be Ladosha Wright, she be Cheryl Morrow, and this is the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. And when we say dumb, we be dumb. So you just can't get more dumber than this topic tonight. But this is important.
It is important.
It's important. And I know a lot of y'all like Ladosha. What's up, Mr. Scott Holcomb? It's either Mrs. or no, I see it. It's Mr. Scott Holcomb. I've been messing you up. What's up, Mr. Scott? I know, like Ladosha, you better get this right.
If Mr. Holcomb has lived a long time, he has been called
Mr. It's the word. You know how it kind of go together. So I thought it was Mrs. But anywho, Mr. Scott Holcomb. Welcome right there on IG, because you always rocking it out with us, so you must be cool. When I see you in real life, don't be mad at me because I'm old and I'm just be trying to get used to these little, these little name tags and stuff. I need my periods and commas. I'm just kind of old, all this blended words and stuff. Anywho, so welcome, Mr. Scott. All right, and then YouTube is lit. Oh, we got Weekend. Do you forgive me? I put Weekend in time. Weekend, kick me off this thing. See, I'm apologizing to Scott. I'm apologizing to Weekend. I'm trying to tell y'all I'm messing things up out here, but I'm gonna get it together. What's up, Sandra? So Weekend, you gotta say you forgive me. LB, I hope you're feeling much better. It's okay. Yes. That's what bosses do. They turn off their cell phones. They do that kind of petty stuff when you don't do what they want you to do, But y'all know they bringing them jobs back to America, right? Did you hear Dave Chappelle? They said, Donald Trump said, we bringing them jobs back to America. Dave Chappelle said, we don't want to make Nikes. We want to wear them.
I don't know. Come on, now it just sounds good.
I mean, what,
Y'all, come on.
Okay, now
You guys know doggone well y'all ain't built like no Chinese.
I can see black people gonna steal all the damn Nikes. That off the rip, I'm gonna tell you right. I know. Stop saying it. It's true. I can see my cousins them now. Yo, I got the bus. I got a whole truck of Nikes in the back. Like, dude, you messing up the church's money. My cousin, like, yo, you want to buy a pair? You might not want to do that in America, Mr. Trump. But there's a lot of stuff a lot of jobs that he said he's going to bring back. Auto jobs. Come on, sure. Stop hating on the idiot in chief, or is the chief idiot? Sure, you know he gonna bring them jobs back. Coal mining.
Y'all
coal mining. Youngstown, they waiting on them coal mining.
A reality TV show. How into no president?
I think you kind of lightweight hating because I see some. I think a couple of they said that Honda and them gonna bring their plants back over here. They're gonna bring some coal miner's daughter. Some mesothelioma cases gonna come back. I know.
That was wrong.
I'm sorry. But they're gonna bring it back. Coal mining. What's wrong with coal mining?
We got the coal mines. That ain't the problem.
You don't think we can make an iPhone? I bet you America, we can blow that iPhone out the water. Come on, where we at? All these, what's that Silicon Valley that can't make
unless they planning on bringing it back to the hood.
They, you know
where it started. But that's a whole nother story.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. They say the jobs is coming back. I think, I don't think they're going to come back because I think they're just kind of, I don't know, like, what is he thinking? Then he got homeboy. He the deported.
We was never making that kind of shit. We was never making that kind of shit. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Can I confess? This is why, Luana, I'm telling you, don't be upset about your boss. My mom worked for like 30 years for General Motors. But before it was General Motors, it used to be called Fisher Body. Now, y'all know y'all got to be old, okay? And so now remember, them was some good jobs. Them was what they call black jobs, okay? But the white people really had some issues with the black people getting into those jobs because they felt like them should be their jobs. All right. So my mom got in, right? But they didn't, they was like, oh, they're going to get paid good. But, they really didn't pay them. They didn't pay the automotive workers what y'all think.
Because y'all don't live a Chinese life. You guys live an American life. Y'all want cars. Y'all want hotels and motels and holiday inns.
And y'all want to go on a cruise.
Homes. And y'all Americans are not built like other people in other countries. Stop faking it. It ain't going to happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
No, that stuff is not where unions are. Sorry.
And but back in the, I know what y'all gonna say, that back in the day, though, that was a good paying job. No, it really wasn't. I mean, we didn't live in the projects or whatever, but we moved out of the projects, but we could still walk to them.
You didn't move out the district.
No, I mean, you had some people that had two parents that were working there. And so they maybe have moved to the suburbs and was able to, borrow money and put their kids, through college or whatever. But I'm telling y'all, those jobs, they did not pay as a matter of fact, when my mom and them started to, go on strike for more money, what did they do with those jobs?
Replaced them.
They took them to Mexico. Y'all act like y'all do not remember. I remember.
And who's they? The Republicans. Talking about they're going to bring them back. Now, so if they're going to bring them back, they're going to bring the plantation back.
And then remember they blew up those, that's when they started making Nissan, and they were blowing up Nissan cars on the lot. I mean, white folk be crazy out here. So they wasn't paying them then. They're not going to pay them now, But remember now,
but don't talk about the raising the minimum wage, though. Don't talk about that.
I
They
mean,
not
it's
bringing
like
nothing back.
they're not gonna pay the people because they're gonna say, "Oh, that's socialism." I mean, a CEO. Look at Elon. He's the billionaire, the richest man in the world. What he gonna do with all that money? He ain't got sense enough to like just. Anywho, I'm not buying it. But these folks, I see the Gulf of America. What that got to do with the price of tea in China? Oh,
We're just globally embarrassed. That's all I'm saying. We're just globally. I don't even want to go nowhere.
What's up, Misha? How you doing, Zakaya? What's up?
What's up?
You said the average Chinese child is probably more skilled than the average American at this point. We're soft and cooked. You better post that. Hold on, let me put it up there. I don't think they hear me though. For real. We can listen. When I was in Africa, right, and they didn't have no Snickers, like no candy bar. I was like, y'all ain't got no mouths. Y'all ain't got no whatchamacallits. What? I know y'all got some Reese's Pieces. All this peanut butter y'all got.
Look.
All these
big
peanuts.
eyes, like I got big eyes like them Africans. I got big ass, and I got nose.
And I was like, what an ice cream
all them
store.
fruit coolers.
What an ice cream store. They didn't have an ice cream store. With no Dairy Queen up in Africa. Listen, Linda. I realized that that plantation had did something to me because I was looking for that sugar, like just a crackhead. I'm telling you, I was
What
looking.
are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about when I was looking for the sugar. They don't eat sugar the way we do, okay? And then fast food. I was riding, right? I wasn't driving. I'm exaggerating. I was riding, and I said, "Dang, I'm a little hungry." Y'all ain't got no like. I know they don't have like.
We will make you food. No,
right.
No. Just drive up in some place.
When Zakia, they don't hear me though. They don't feel what you posting up there. Americans are very persnickety. I mean, we're like, the meeting started at 3:00. Africans be like, we glad you here. we talk fast. I was talking fast. They was like, what's wrong with her? What happened? What wrong? And we were so fat. You know how they try to say, oh, the Africans women are big. They was like, well, there was some big niggers. They said, what they feed you people? You guys are so big. Yeah, we're fat. They are not this big. I'm trying to tell y'all that was my experience. I'm not saying we're no big people, but it wasn't like how they try to make it. Remember that movie with Monique? And they said that he liked a big woman because the big woman meant that y'all better stop. Don't y'all believe it. But I will tell you what they did say when I was big. I'm still big. So when we got into the look, they said, "Do you guys want to drive?" We said, "No. We don't have drivers in America. We down. We Africans. We down with y'all, right, Cheryl?" So we get into the cab, and it's like, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, right? And they said, "Oh, they're gonna pick up some." I'm like, "What y'all doing?" They're like, "Oh, we got room. We got room for more people. Where they gonna fill at? On them big thighs you got." They just back 2 people on I was like, clutch the free slave.
So Black Americans. Oh, I know y'all know them jobs ain't coming back, but we not built like them. Okay,
all
so
right.
just know we westernized.
All right. Yeah. And so when you was in the port, they all the fresh produce. You're right. I'm up. I saw the bananas on the trees. Here I go. Is this like a community garden or like for the Cafelli? They was like, if you don't snatch that damn banana off that tree and cut that shit. I was like,
oh, for real? I can
this moringa? It's for I don't have to eat the banana. So Cafelli, like, can we get started with the pot? I had to talk about this, Cafelli, because it is part of the bill when we talk about its culture, the king and queen of natural hair. So I know y'all laughing at me. Go ahead. I had to get it out my system because this is the culture. we think is the king. So I learned a lot that anywho, I ain't go, that's just my own little experience. So they said, shut up, Ladosha, and get to the topic. All right. So let's just hop to it, So we just gonna get on into it. And we're gonna start off with I got my clips, and Cheryl sent me some stuff over. So we're just gonna go ahead and get down to come on and get down with the get down. All right. So let's start with the evolution of hair. Let's give y'all, now remember, we get all this stuff off of TikTok because they got the best thing going. So going over on TikTok, Cheryl and I were on TikTok. Cheryl at SD Monitor News, and I'm Ladosha Wright. So here we go. The evolution of Afro hair according to TikTok. Here we go, Cheryl.
Did you know that the texture of our hair tells a story, one written by evolution and the environment? African hair evolved as a brilliant adaptation to one of the most extreme climates on Earth, the hot, relentless sun of ancient Africa. The tightly coiled strands create a natural barrier, forming pockets of air that insulate and protect the scalp from overheating. It's like nature's perfect air conditioning. But that's not all. Curly hair also retains moisture better, vital for survival in a land where water was often scarce. This hair texture wasn't just beautiful, it was life-saving. Today, Afro and curly hair represent more than survival. They're symbols of heritage, resilience, and pride. Every curl and coil carries the story of our ancestors and their connection to the earth. So the next time you see Afro or curly hair, remember, it's more than style. It's science, history, and culture intertwined. Celebrate your roots. They're extraordinary.
Ooh, celebrate. Kafele, how you like me now? That was how we opened it up. So there you have it. He didn't say kinky or nappy. He pointed out curly and coily, and that this hair was an adaptation fueled by the environment, and it was nature's way of making a nice air conditioner, and that so that's how it got down. So is that the evolution of the culture? Because he said, there you have it. 3, you have culture, and you have science, and then you have how you feel, creativity. Okay, so what should we tell them as we start off with the culture coming out of Africa of how this now curly and coiled are 2 different things, correct? No. Okay. No, they're not. Okay. All right. Look at Cheryl. No, ma'am. Okay, Lala. Y'all better get y'all notebooks ready, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna put this up because y'all dropping y'all questions already. Lawana LB says, but our hair does not retain moisture, so he best stop back down. It's dry. So give us the evolution of the hair and put some culture in that if there's a way to.
So you guys, do you think the average Black person in North America, I'm gonna put it that way, we not in Europe, we not in Africa, we not in Asia, we in North America, we not in South America, we in North America, North American Blacks, right? So do you think we think there is the culture? Do you think we think that?
All right. Come on, y'all. Y'all are everybody in here. This chatting is building. Y'all
let me just say it. Because I need to ask the textured experts. Where's Kafele and all the natural hair care providers?
And the fans and the official.
Of course. But I don't expect the fans to really understand.
They might. Okay. All right. Ask the question one more again. Come on, y'all. Drop it in the chat.
Do you guys think that there is a such thing as the culture?
All right. How many? What's up, Ian Miller? What's up, Miller? Kafele, do we believe that there is a such thing as the culture? Right. I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna say yes. Okay. Come on now, y'all. That's what y'all. That's to show you I've been asking. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Don't stick a needle in your eye. It's a little delayed. You know how that goes.
Okay, well, you take a stab at it, Kilolo. You say there is a such thing. Okay, so if we got 54 countries, about 3,000 different ethnic groups, approximately 5,500 different cultures within those 3,000. Okay, you got about 6,000 different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so there would be safe enough to say we have within those 5,500 different cultures, you have approximately maybe about 225 to 3,000 different beauty customs.
Mm-hmm.
So where would the culture be? Well,
And the culture would be the people within those sects. So depending on
so would there be cultures or the culture?
It would be cultures, but you could say the culture as an overarching. Am I reaching here, guys?
Yeah, you are.
I'm reaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So when I hear texture experts say we need to do something for the culture, we could only be talking about North American Black culture, beauty culture. We couldn't be talking about those 5,500 because, of course, when we move geographically, they don't know what you're talking about when you say the, because their culture, let's say if you're in Nigeria, Hausa, or you're above West Africa, or Zulu of South Africa, or anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Within that culture, there's about another 500.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we say the culture and we want one standard for all 10,000 of those subgroups, are we approaching it from a westernized white European perspective, or do you think we are really approaching it from an African perspective? So if you were to basically say the culture, you are putting the greatest, largest biodiversified continent on Earth. You're saying erase everyone else's and just blanket, draw one stroke, and it covers everybody.
Well, I'm about to play devil's advocate. Let me get my key Lolo on. Hold on. Let me put some Vaseline on my forehead because I see right now. Okay, Cheryl, for your information, when I say the culture, okay, I'm talking about all of the cultures that we need to stand up wherever we at. Like, see all this back here? Mm-hmm. We need to speak up for you see, that's the culture back here. And I represent any one of these cultures. So I could say that, I can gate this situation because people keep trying to come in and try to be over with that culture, back over here. You see what I'm saying? So when I say the culture, I know for a fact that there are several thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of cultures, but I'm saying we need to speak up for it overall to keep people like some of the stuff that you're trying to insinuate out of our way, because we gotta do what we need to do out here. Because you bugging, you getting a little bit too technical. Because you know what I mean when I say the culture.
Okay, right. And as people who really want to understand what it is to be Afrocentric, do you think that it's important for us to know what we mean when we're talking about it?
But it's a Black thing. See, I think you're trying to get a little too technical because some of this stuff is coded. So everybody, like, we Black. Okay. So we know what we mean when we say it's like everybody don't understand what
you're using the Eurocentric paradigm to understand yourself.
How can I be Eurocentric when I'm talking about my people?
Because you're making things black and white. It's the same thing that the most Africans or Latin Americans or any person who has a difficult name, you just want to nickname it.
But
You don't want
right,
to pronounce the whole name.
But I gotta protect it within that paradigm of black and white. I have to stand up, because if not, it's gonna encroach, it's gonna creep over, and it's gonna take over all these cultures that I'm standing back here, I'm trying to represent. So I have to do this black and white context to protect.
Well, as a Black American, do you think that you're different from any other nation within the African diaspora?
Yeah, I think we different. I think African Americans are different from Africans.
You think we have a different culture?
Yes.
Okay. So when Africans don't peel you, if they don't peel you out and say, well, they'll say that you are not African, you are American Africans. They put you actually where you actually are. And they realize that in North America, the North American blacks are different.
Yeah, but we still Africans. They can't take that from me.
Well, they never did. That's not the issue. The issue is that, do you see yourself uniquely inside of the African paradigm, and without having to be like somebody you've never met and never gonna meet?
Kilolo running out of smartness now. Come on, y'all, help out the dumbest shit that people say about black hair.
Can you still be a part of the pearl without knowing the other parts of the pearl, and then denying their part and then denying your part? Can you still be a part of it?
I could be a part of it, because maybe we just agree to disagree. Like it's two pearls in the oyster, and maybe I just disagree with that oyster, but I am within that.
But you don't have. You can be different and not a part. And see, and that's what westernized thinking makes you do. If you're not the same, you're not. You're just not. You're different. That doesn't mean that. Just because you're different, you could still be part of the whole. You can be Zulu and not be aware of that there was ever a Hausa. And when you learn of it, you don't make it any less African. A Somalian does not curse a Zulu just because they're not from the same area. But westernized thinking makes you do that.
Because white people did this to us, Cheryl. I really wouldn't even be talking like this if it wasn't for them. I mean, I'm just saying. Because in this country, because it's so racist,
right?
This is why Kilolo
but you have to be vigilant. I get it, but that's what makes us so vastly different, because we have to be mindful, and we have to be mindful of our American westernized shortcut, low intellectual pseudo-intellectualism. We have to be so vigilant on not doing it.
But what makes me try to protect my people in America and in Africa? Why does that make me pseudo? Because I know what these or they, when you say who are they, I'm talking about white folks and people who try to oppress us. Why does that make me pseudo if I'm trying to stand up for my people? Because I know what they're trying to do. I mean, I know like race ain't real, but it's still real. You know what I'm saying? So why, how come I get tagged with being pseudo? Why can't I, get down with them like they get down with us? I mean, because it's us against them, right?
Because it doesn't make you change your language. It makes you speak to racism the same way racism has designed you to talk. You don't ever change the words. You don't ever change the sentences. You don't ever put things other together. And let's just say, for instance, I was in a train one night in New York City, and a beautiful, nice looking white boy walks up to me. And he says, "Oh my God, I love that maxi coat. You know that's Scottish." And I said to him, I says, "No, it's not." I says, "It's clearly that it's not, because I'm a black woman wearing it." And he says, "No, but you're wearing a Scottish print, and I says, you don't realize that 4,000 years before a Scottish wore it, you don't think an African thought about putting red, green, and yellow together? They did. So the point is that I didn't have to not be out of the Scottish paradigm, but I did have to switch it. So we can have different conversations without having a separate conversation. You can take control of the conversation.
Well, I got a video where we have some new language and we are trying to take control of the conversation. So let's see if I can move the needle and demonstrate to you how we have changed the language and changed the conversation. This is coming from TikTok, of course. TikTok. Here we go. Average hair type in Africa, according to TikTok. And now, little girl in the photo. Do you agree or do you disagree with this map of the average hair type in Africa? There's my language. I don't have 4C hair. I think I might have 3C hair. And that could tell me which part of Africa.
That made me hot.
Because that's the new language that we've created in the natural hair movement to try to protect the culture.
Absolutely. So that's
so we came up.
We put westernized language.
But Africans speak English.
No.
So how is that westernized?
Well, I'm not making a distinction between the King's English and just westernized thinking. Western is the whole of Europe. It's it's the Western hemisphere. What I am saying is we need to categorize things. We did the exact same thing as colonial imperialists did.
But how is me typing the hair?
Because you did.
I'm just trying to help people understand their hair with numbers and letters. So how is that colonizing? I don't understand the connection of what you're saying, because I mean, there is a difference in these hair textures, and I'm just using numbers and letters.
Right. So I just started. Biodiversity, the greatest spectrum of biodiversity, and you guys put 3 numbers on it with 3 letters, and then you guys switched them wrong.
Well, remember now, because the average person in America has a 6th grade reading level, so we were just trying to come up with something that everybody can understand, no matter how old you are, your socioeconomic, this is bipartisan, it doesn't matter what your religion is. So we just tried to, just condense it and make it easy.
For Black Americans to understand, or is that for Africans to understand?
It's for the culture. Because now everybody in the diaspora now is using 4A. See, we created this here in America because we know about the racism that they don't want to talk about in England. They don't want to talk about it in India. So we created that. We created that for our people, for the culture.
Can you put it back up?
Oh yeah, I can put it back up because I'm proud. I'm proud of this little I'm proud of this right here. Y'all know Kilolo is a character. I'm not getting out of character. I just want to let y'all know I'm staying here. So here you go. Average hair type in Africa, according to TikTok. And now, little girl in the photo. Do you agree or do you disagree with this map of the average hair type in Africa? So they got a little Madagascar down there at 4B.
Right. Well, you can't keep it up without playing it.
I can let me see if I can
stop it.
Oh yeah, let me see if I could do that. Let me see if I can show it. Average hair type in Africa, according to TikTok. And now, little girl. No. Okay, but I keep talking. I'm gonna make a little screenshot. Go ahead.
Okay. My point is that 1, being straight, 2, being wavy, So there's no hair types in the continent of Africa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's just nothing else besides 3 and 4.
Of course not. I mean, everybody on Africa on the continent is black, Cheryl. I mean, I'm not talking about those Elon Musk. They don't count. We're not include. I'm gonna tell you right now. You can say whatever. I'm not including Elon Musk or Charlize Theron in this conversation because them are not real Africans. Those are implants. I'm talking about real. You know,
Okay, so
Africans.
you know how you sound, right? The real Africans. What is a real African?
The ones with the naughty heads and the like diggable planets. You know, come on, get free,
Wait,
y'all.
Are you trolling me in my own podcast here?
I got to because I'm Key Lolo. I mean, that's what we're trying to figure out here.
We're trying to figure it out, but because to me that sounds so texturist. That is worse than racism. That is texturism.
But don't we need a language, Cheryl? Don't we need something to help our people understand their hair? I mean, it's just no way so you're saying we cannot classify this. Is that what you're saying?
Right, because let me just say this. That particular, actually, I think that there's more 1A and 2A in East Africa. East and South Africa.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull it up right quick. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. All right. Okay. So you're saying that because we're trying to find the culture and the king of all of this. So here it is. You got a nice map here. You got West Africa. You know, oh wow, that's a lot of Jesus.
Okay, so what I'm saying,
how do we?
Because there are straight hair Africans. There are so many. Now you guys can Google it. Africa is the
I got some
largest biodiversified.
So where is this African from?
She is East Southeast.
Wow.
Now she's not black.
She gotta look like me. I think that is me. Look at kind of like shut up, Ladosha. Well, you know, I'll try it anyhow.
No, but it is closer to your texture than mine.
Mm-hmm. But she's African, okay?
But she's
all right.
She's African.
So what about these?
These are the first to migrate out of Africa and are in Australia.
Are you guys following this? Okay. What about northern? Okay, we got some. Okay, hold on. Okay, we got a couple of questions. Okay, so what about northern Africa Egyptians? Let me see.
Yeah, we have to remember we're not talking about immigrants. We're not talking about Arabs. We're talking about Africans, and I'm not talking about people who have migrated there. I'm talking about this is an Ethiopian.
Wow.
Okay. That's an Ethiopian. He is from Ethiopia. He is from Southern Sudan. Okay. That looks like a Jerry curl.
Yeah, that's how my hair looks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my hair is more like that.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And this person here?
That is a boy from the southern region, which means Madagascar. That is an African black child. Okay. But we have gotten into what we want to be and then use the word the culture. There is no such thing talking about Africans. There's no the culture. Because I don't have any more right to be of African descent than this child does. And he would not, in the African thought process, the critical kind of thought processes of they would not make me question mine because
But I still think that I'm playing devil's advocate here. I still think the hair typing that they created was to help explain his texture to a person who just don't know what it is. Like, why is his hair? He's from the continent of Africa. His hair looks like this, and yet his hair looks like that. So I think they're numbering.
right, and their paradigm is not based on product. They don't have a texturism system which makes them participate in a white man's capitalistic society.
Okay. So texturism. So you're saying hair typing, this here is associated with money.
Right. Well, first of all, it's wrong because
I
half.
know.
Right. The half of the
Wow.
right side of continent of Africa has a lot of straight hair. Right.
Wow.
And this is disingenuous and it's pseudo-intellectualism because 4C is something that's conducive to Black people in North America, because maybe there was a small group of descendants of slaves that may have predominant, but that precursor cannot cover the massive part of the core of Africa. That is completely disingenuous and actually is very bad intellectualism.
Okay, so let's move to
making North American Black people think that most Africans in the whole continent has their texture, when even we have a very diverse textures as well.
So in this culture of, and now we're going to get into some questions about this hair being dry. Thank you so much, Misha. So within this culture of this thing called natural hair, and is it king or queen? I'm going to show two clips back to back of two different women who are saying in their culture of embracing their hair that it is as it is. So you're saying that, like the gentleman on the photo, you said he is not bought into the numbering and the money that's associated with the numbering. So here's some women who are saying something similar to what you're saying. So this woman is very popular here also on YouTube. Here we go.
You could never get me to dislike my hair or my features because my hair is my culture. I am so blessed to come from such a rich and beautiful culture. People pay money to have big hair. White girls will literally perm their hair, tease it, just to have big hair. I naturally have big hair, but I'm supposed to feel like it's ugly because it's kinky? Absolutely not.
So in her explanation of culture, it's because she is from this rich culture that she is proud of her hair, and then she's like
broad stroking it and including the whole gamut.
Yes, and that's what I was doing in the beginning.
Right, but there's not one culture.
Okay,
she can say many cultures, but and it's a mistake.
Let me play it again, just so people can hear. But let me just play it one more again.
You could never get me to dislike my hair or my features because my hair is my culture. I am so blessed to come from such a rich and beautiful culture. People pay money.
All right, so she's from a rich and beautiful culture, and I think we all kind of do that when we think it's just this monolith, and we have to be mindful.
She said her hair is her culture.
Yeah.
Which is and of course we have to peel back the onion because it's a bad habit. We just say it. And it's not the fact that you're trying to get her to feel any different. That's not
absolutely point. Of course not. Yes.
The key here is for us to move past the emotional wounds in which we talk to get us to generate results from liberation and not from the woundedness of it, because that is what gets us into
We're like Carl
stagnation.
Thomas. We're just too emotional about this thing. How many of you are very emotional about your hair? Like, don't touch it. What you looking at, or why what's wrong with my hair? Just very emotional. If I want to cut it, I can cut it. If I want to grow, just very emotional about your hair. Because this woman that I'm going to show you in the next clip says she's natural and unbothered, and I don't know, would she be emotional about her hair? So let's see. Answer the question: are you emotional about your hair? Here we go.
What they don't tell you about natural hair is that the goal isn't to do your hair, it's to work around what your hair already does. A lot of people be like, oh, my hair didn't turn out like that. Oh, how did you get your hair like that? It does not matter. Like for me, back hair usually doesn't stay as defined compared to the front, but back hair has all the volume. So I do styles where I have these pieces out, which is usually like all, nice licking because of the definition, and then boom, the puff. Beautiful puff in the back, and it works, and everybody's just like, how'd you do that? I know my hair. Even with puffs, a lot of people kind of do like up here. That doesn't work for me. So what I do is kind of shovel the back up like so and crunch in the sides. Boom, a puff. You just have to figure out your hair and stop trying to 100% mimic the styles that you see. It's cool to have a reference or try to resemble it, but the moment you're like, oh, mine doesn't look right, your hair is gonna just be defiant. Hope that helps.
Emotional.
Very much so.
Very emotional. Okay, let's see what the chat is saying. Now this is very interesting because I wasn't expecting it to go there. What's going on Instagram? I see y'all. Come on through. Yes, right. Rock it out with us. We are 153 episodes in, and tonight is all about is culture the king and queen of natural hair? And it is, but it isn't, is what we're learning so far. So let's see. Are we emotional about their hair? Lawana says yes, she's emotional about her hair. Michelle Allen, what's happening? I don't know. Am I? I think I don't know that I'm emotional about my hair. I don't know. I want it combed. I get. I don't know. I'm not one. Don't touch my hair. I don't think it's all that serious to me. I don't know. So one person openly admitted that they are emotional about their hair, which next month is May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're going to go into some deep dives to help you guys not be so emotional about your hair. I think the goal to kind of make this hair care a monolith is not a good thing. And I think the natural hair movement really, they try to really
doing the reverse because we need to feel better about it. And I think once we take steps to feel good about it without knowing how to feel good about it.
In the beginning, let me find your question, Lawana. Okay, so I think this probably leans into why a lot of people don't feel good about their Afro hair. It's just the way that it feels. And all the different things that people can do to it. Like her hair was, just natural and unbothered. That bothers a lot of people. Like, girl, go comb your head, that kind of thing. And so when you look at Lawana's question, can one of you explain that the man said our hair retains moisture when it's really dry? So this is the one thing about Afro hair that really, as a cosmetologist, it plays on the psyche of so many humans with this hair, where they just want this hair to feel like something is just not naturally, it just can't be. But I think this partners with the emotions. I could be wrong, and you guys let me know.
Absolutely correct. Because in our brain, right, dry means hard. And moist, wet means soft. But as soon as it evaporates and becomes just like anything, okay. So if you were, moisture is something that's temporary. So dry must be the predisposition if it's temporary all the time. And so, Luana, you can't feel. Hair doesn't allow you to feel moisture because moisture is either it's on your fingertips and it's wet. But if it's hydration and if it's flexuous and then if it's has the right
Characteristics.
amount of moisture or hydration in it, you can feel it anyway. So it's always going to be dry to your fingertips. Now, are you talking about brittle? Are you talking about crunchy? Are you talking about, those are other words we're going to have to use to be able to fix it in the cosmetology world. But once we keep using moisture retention, which no one told any scholar, African-American professor, cosmetologist, texture expert, no one told them that hair retains moisture. No one told them that. They made that up. And I'm just saying that because there's no metric system within cosmetology to measure that.
Mm-hmm.
If your hair is moist, it's wet.
Bottom line,
Okay?
she says her hair feels crunchy.
Right.
And again, and we, at our goal as cosmetologists is to do what WK is suggesting in the chat, which is also her and Sandra saying, please the chat is looking pretty full, looking pretty good. It's building really nicely. So if you could go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I see you, Michelle. It's so nice to see you in the chat. But we're trying to get them to embrace it, that is how it is supposed to feel. But what are we saying to people who are really in their mind, it has to at least have some type of
flexuous,
something. Yeah, like it's and so once hard.
Once we get to those words, and Luana, you want your hair to be, because soft hair does not have to be wet hair, right? And dry hair don't have to be crunchy hair. If you want it to have we have to go through a process of having a conversation about it and then moving your product regimen and your treatment regimen, because you have to realize that the picture that you guys have on the screen now, that hair, she's from West Africa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she has features of an Asiatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that hair is beyond what we would call 4C. That hair is very wiry, but that is the custom, right?
Mm-hmm.
That hair is so coily, so dominant, so coily. It's probably one of the tightest coils of curl patterns on the planet, which means that if it coils that tight, if you were to pull it, just stretch it out, right? Just stretch it out. It would be extremely straight. Okay, because
it's the feel,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you were to stretch it out and then feel, you would have to stretch it, and it could probably be beyond 7 to 8 inches long, but that hair is so coiled that is coiled out of her follicle, then it wounds, and then it wounds around itself. So it's like coiled 4 times, right? Because there's another sample of it that I have that I gave to right. So when the hair grows, when it's starting to grow, it actually grows in circles, and it's
right. But the quest to make that hair flexuous, supple, soft, is unrealistic. Because it actually already is. Can I just say that? It already, the way that it feels, that is how it is supposed to feel in its natural. It has all the moisture. It has all of the.
That hair is never. It's going to be, if that hair were to grow and grow and grow and grow, do you know how long that hair has to be to even touch her shoulder? It would be 36 inches long, because it's that hair is going to defy gravity. That hair is not growing downward.
Right. And it's
that hair is growing high. It's going to grow
and
high,
the goal,
mass, then volume. It's going to be a long time before it gets heavy enough to fall on the shoulder. Okay.
Right. And when you're talking about trying to manipulate this hair, whether you want to lock it, you want to braid it, whatever you're going to do to it, once it dries, like say if you was to put some custard on it, or you
I don't even. Yeah, I think it would evaporate so fast because that hair is going to suck in light. It's going to suck in air. It's going to suck in water. It is penetrate. But that is the highest grade of keratinization probably on the planet.
Mm-hmm. And so I think you said
doesn't mean it's better than anything. And see, that is where Western thought and our Western behaviors in our Western emotionality does not serve us correctly, because we think that is connected to bad.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And we say it's dry and it's crunchy.
Because it's supposed to be, because of how coily it is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That is just a DNA expression.
Mm-hmm.
But look how recessive their eyes are. They have heavy eyelids. Those are recessive eyelids. Very dominant, cheekbones. Okay, very dominant prognostic jaw, right? But very recessive earlobes. They're connected. They don't have very heavy, so they have recessive features. But Mother Nature gave them such a dominant hair coil that the expression is evenly distributed because they have recessive eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They're very far apart, right?
And so this texture is how it's supposed to feel. I don't care what you put on it. Now he or she is in her environment, but we do see this hair come through the salon, and people will come in and they will try to put shea butter. No. Coconut oil, no. You're going to mix something with some oil and water, no. You're going to try to put some, what's that, can't you, don't you, why you, no.
Their babies, only maybe hours before that hair grabs the oxygen and becomes highly keratinized. Only the fluid, the amniotic fluid, is going to keep that hair extremely soft until the air hits it, and then they are just a people with high coil count.
Right. And it's like Cheryl said, if you look at my nose, her nose, and our noses are almost identical.
Right.
Our jaws, our lips. I mean, look at her lips and Cheryl's lips, and I have makeup on my lips. But you guys were saying the expression, you couldn't possibly type. There's no way. It's too many variations. Even though she and the person, their hair is still different. It's not the same. You still couldn't type it. I mean, it looks to the naked eye, but you really can't.
They are not suffering from follicular degeneration syndrome. Their hair is so curly that it separates on its own in these pockets of little circles. It is the most incredible, and I've had the pleasure of having that hair type in.
And it's also very rare. When you say so, it's so rare. People come in, I got nappy hair. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't. That is not what that 4C hair y'all talking about. That no. Anywho, we digress. So the gatekeepers. Here we go, Cheryl. Excuse me. Are you the gatekeeper?
Natural hair girlies told me to wash my hair regularly, then my hair will grow. That did nothing. Then they said, leave my hair alone and it will grow, and that didn't help. Then they said, deep condition every time I do a wash day, and that really didn't help. Then they told me to seal my ends, but they didn't tell me what to seal my ends with, so I guessed oil and grease, and it didn't matter how much I hydrated my ends before, my ends still got really dry a couple days after, so that didn't help. Then they told me just genetics, and that made me so discouraged because I guess I just didn't have the genetics to grow long, healthy hair. And then they said to know my porosity and then didn't educate me on what porosity is. No matter how many videos I watched and tried, it took a long time to figure out what porosity was.
Okay. Excuse me, are you the gatekeeper? What movie was that from? If you know what movie, excuse me, are you the gatekeeper? You get a gift tonight. All right. If you know what movie, excuse me, are you the gatekeeper? So what about this gatekeeping and the culture of natural hair, of how to do it? So you have all of these people telling you how to make it moist, how to make it long, how to have retention, how the culture of caring for this natural hair is so vast and so confusing. How can we help people understand the culture of caring for natural hair is all over the place? Why is that? And how can we get it together when people are still asking for hold on, just one little thing right here, Cheryl. When they're still asking for this type of hair to be moist, this type of hair to be flexuous, they want this type of hair to feel like that type of hair. So the culture of how to care for this hair is very interesting. And it's all over the world. It's not just America. So the culture of caring, like she says, so much misinformation. Well, and confusing, maybe it's a better word.
Okay. Would you guys agree? And somebody answer me. Don't answer me, key low. But do you guys think it's easy to understand culture in a cult? Because the root word of culture is cult.
Don't you y'all hit a thumbs up button for that? Because Cheryl, she just put it on you. And then after you answer that, someone wants to know what is follicular degeneration syndrome. Tiki, what's up, Tiki? I used to have a friend, and I grew up with. Her name was Tiki, and I want to be like her. She was the most beautiful girl in the world. I wonder where's are you the Tiki that grew up on Woodstock? If you are, oh my God, I love you. Oh my gosh, her name was Tiki. Oh my gosh, she was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. If that's you, Tiki, I want to see you in real life. But anywho, I digress. So question again, one more time, Cheryl.
Do you guys think it is easy to understand culture organically when you are in a cult? Or submerged in cult behavior? Because the obsession, that video is a girl that is obsessed. And she is filled with trying to probably get something that she probably already has. Looks like she has a lot of hair. It didn't look like she was missing any.
Well, Nola, darling, what's up, Nola, darling? I see you over there on Instagram. Says she loves her hair. She knows how to style it the way she wants. She doesn't care what anybody thinks about her hair. So
absolutely wonderful.
Way to go, Nola, darling. I see you. I love her. She's so beautiful. I mean, when she was a little girl, but anyway. Sorry to put your business out there, Nola, but I love you.
But to
I'm sorry. Tiki said I'm the most beautiful guy. Oh, okay, Tiki, I'm sorry. I know your ass right of your name, Tiki. Okay, but go ahead.
The most important thing to understand out of that video before I answered the question about follicular degeneration syndrome is that we need to get out of the cult of being obsessed.
Obsessed with?
Right. Obsessed with length. And I think that is what causes us to do the obsession with
but I think it's length and the texture itself.
Well,
I think that it's both.
If we had but for someone and people to be in their natural culture, right? And to be obsessed with Barbie doll length
and feel,
right? those are two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to question what is making us obsessed with pulling the hair and showing that Black people can grow hair.
And the feel, I got to keep adding that in there. I have to.
And it's down here, and then because soft is synonymous with straightness, and for us to define it as much as we can pull it down, we are obsessed with the opposite features of what the culture we're talking about, because the people in that culture do not talk about length in a Eurocentric description.
It's like Cheryl said. I'm just speaking for the Gambia. Remember, we can't paint the whole continent with a brush stroke. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like if they straighten their hair, it's like the fabric had wrinkles, so they just pressed it out.
Yeah.
In America, when you do that, what Ladosha's done, for sure, she's trying to be white.
Right.
You know, they don't see it the way, even like when they put a wig on, to them it was like a hat. Like they were passing them wigs back and forth like it was a hat. And we were like, what y'all doing? They was like, it was just to get so white people can stop obsessing over their hair. They just put the wig on. They don't see it. Now, of course, that's that little small microcosm. But again, we just have to get you guys to understand in that culture of how you care for your hair is out of the culture that you're claiming to be of and from and for, because that in any culture is just very unreal. I own a hair salon and we have to bring people down to reality. I wouldn't be in there, you know, like every week or every two. It's just unrealistic. You have to do this stuff yourself, like brushing your teeth. But people really feel like if I pay for Tando to lock my hair, if I pay for Yate, if I pay for Cheryl, then
it disavows me from the responsibility of touching it.
Or anything goes wrong with it. It's your I paid you. So what happened to my curls? What happened to my color? Why do I see gray hair next week? I mean, it's like the culture.
Well, here's the thing. And this is what happens when you're in a cult. So you'll talk to somebody and they'll say, well, they'll come to me and say, well, my hair is it's not growing. It grows extremely slow, such and such and such. Now, of course, as the consultant, I don't believe that, but I don't tell them that. So they're talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And then they tell me, I says, well, how often do you get your hair relocked or a touch up or whatever? Oh, girl, they don't last. I'm doing it every 4 weeks. And so I says, ma'am, it cannot not grow and you're retouching. Now you're going to have to make up your mind which one it is. And so when they slow down and they understand that they do not understand what they're talking about, they need to slow down and get back, get out of the cult language, get out. It cannot not grow and you're retouching or relocking or redoing something because it's growing. You can't be in two worlds. And the reason why they're in two worlds, because they have two different sets of beliefs. And we know that culture encompasses a belief system. So which culture are you in? Because you can't have two belief systems in a culture. You can only have one. You can only have one set of values, one set of customs, one set of rituals, one dislikes and likes, and you can't be one or the other. And so when I explained that, and they heard me back and repeat back what they said, they have what we call a huge confliction. They're conflicted because they have too much information and they're using all the information at the same time. And it doesn't apply to that given situation at that time. They're just using all the information that they know.
Hmm.
So to answer the question in FDS is when not the follicle is in one of the triphasal phases of growth, rest, and evacuation, right? It is prematurely, the follicle in the inner root sheath has dried up and it has imploded to the point where you don't see the hole anymore. You see a very clean orange kind of and here's the problem with dermatology, people.
I just put some images up.
Right. In a white male world or a male world, that would be what? Receding hairline, or that would be male pattern baldness, or it would be some case of a hormonal imbalance called DHT. I'm sorry. But in a female world where estrogen seems to be higher, we get other words like FDS, follicular degeneration syndrome, which is a scalp tissue issue. It's not a hair issue. Okay.
So on some of these images here, can you explain what would the scalp issue be? Because this one over here, she's got little extra spaces. So there, yeah. So what would the scalp issue be? We're just going to digress just a little bit.
Right. But remember the name of the disorder, follicular degeneration syndrome, which means that you could approximately have healthy scalp in other areas, but those follicles are choosing to implode, to completely shut down any genetic or cell generation tissue. So that's not a hair issue, that's a scalp issue, because
so in follicular degeneration, the scalp is miniaturizing.
The follicle in and of itself is decided to come out of its growth phase, the cell production has been shut down by the dermis in and of itself.
Okay.
And that in follicular degeneration syndrome has been called hot comb alopecia for years.
Oh, I remember that. I do.
Yeah, me and the dermatologists have gone back and forth over that. But these are the weird names that white folks give conditions and disorders.
All right. So Tiki says, I'm definitely going to be studying this. Okay. Well, we're glad we're able to do that. Now, what we got to do right now before we hit these last few talking points, because I see Wike and Sandra's in the chat saying, y'all sucking up all this knowledge, but it's about time for y'all to go ahead on and do a little bit of this right here. Cheryl gonna show y'all what y'all need to do. Show them, Cheryl, right now. Here we go. Bam. Hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we help change the narrative about culture being the king and queen of natural hair. We are learning so much. Thank you so very much. Keep y'all questions coming in the chat. These are some very, very, very good questions. This is what we're here for, is to help you guys understand exactly what's going on. And hello to everybody over on Instagram. We are so happy to have you. Hey, Denda, how you doing? We got a new cousin in the chat, Miss Denda, Tiki. We got some new people coming on through. All right, okay. All right, so here we go, Cheryl. Now here we go. Now when we talk about this whole thing, okay, about gatekeeping and black and the white, we still got to ask the question because it just keeps coming up. Is people who are not black inside this natural hair movement, where culture is king. So here we go.
Hair braiding is a huge culture in Black culture. How do you guys perceive it as being performed on other ethnicities? There's definitely a line. If someone was to get like 2 braids, I think for the most part, like a lot of people are okay with it. But when it comes to like doing like the Black tribal hairstyles, tribal braid styles, like that's kind of when it's like that's when a lot of people will take offense to it. People outside of the culture mainly do it for the look and not really understanding the history behind the styles. People who don't have black hair, a lot of these styles aren't really fit for their hair too. I feel like you definitely need to have a certain texture to hold certain style. I usually wouldn't recommend like a heavy braid style on someone who's not black.
Okay, hair braiding is culture. Here we go again. Culture is the king and queen. Hair braiding is culture. People who are outside of the black tribal hairstyle, that is deep. So can I just say this thing about tribal hairstyles?
Yes, please go ahead.
Y'all, we better not be saying that, okay? They don't. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. That's the first thing I got. Oops, upside my head. I'm telling y'all. Like I said, I only been to the Gambia, so I can't speak for the other parts. But we gotta stop saying that, y'all, because they don't like that. Because we don't know. They like, what tribe you talking about? I mean, trying to commercialize them. They don't. Y'all,
I don't think we understand when we say things. I think Black Americans,
like,
ooh,
you can't just be going back. I want some Fulani braids. You know, like the Fulanis are like.
Do you know that there's?
Hold up, here go the Fulani.
No. Do you know that there's thousands of different Fulani in different parts of the continent?
Here they go, Cheryl.
What you talking about, Willis?
They also say this.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. What is a Fulani? Do you think we know?
Anybody want to take a stab at it? Since you're so black, since you're so African, since you're so culture, where are culture vultures at? Come on, cultures, come through.
Yeah.
What is Fulani?
Where these African black folks at? Come
Where
on,
y'all at? Y'all, so come on now, don't be scared.
Right.
Help us out. Each one teach one.
That's right.
Hey, K-Love, what's happening? Rhythm, how y'all doing?
Sharing is caring.
Come on, who knows what the Fulani is? Who knows what Wolof or Zulu or help us? Help us.
Now, of course,
I'm gonna drink some of this gin.
As I went into the deep, fabulous locals of Senegal, they did call me Fulani. And of course, the natural question is, what is that? You know, but when we do talk, I think we really need to go to the continent more often to sit and learn.
And get off of YouTube and stay off them books and stop Googling.
Right.
Pay all this money. I'm telling y'all could just pay like $100 a month for a year. Then y'all go ahead on. It's cheap once y'all get on over there. Get over there and get your own experience.
Oh God.
So she's saying that when white people try to do it, that it's okay if they want to wear 2 French braids. Go figure.
But they always were wearing the braids. Black Africans did not discover braiding. They were the mother and fathers. That's fine. But mother and fathers don't care what the babies go off and do on their own and come up with some new something and new nothing. They supposed to do that. Asia has their own braiding. Europe has their own braiding. Come on, y'all. All braiding is not African.
What you talking about, Willis? Okay.
And I dig it where we coming from, but it just doesn't allow us to evolve as the purveyors.
And it's so and it's ingenuine. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, Willis. I got chin checked. Oh my!
Well,
how
many pictures have I sent you of black Africans that got straight hair?
Oh,
you gonna go over there and tell them they not African? Y'all need to come on, y'all.
If you braid your hair this way, you're Fulani.
Yeah, you
They
go over
go,
there to Japan and you go there and you catch them braiding, and they gonna be like, "Well, wait a minute, what you doing?"
ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so culture is the king and queen of natural hair, and braiding is definitely one of those things that.
But there is a braid culture in America, in North America, happens to belong to us. Yeah. But that's still not the Gambian, Libya, South Africa. You know what I mean? It's not those cultures. It's our North American culture.
We got to see what I try to tell y'all. Look at that. I agree with you, Ladosha. What tribe? I'm Kenyan, and we have over 40 tribes here, each with their, what?
Come on now.
Let me drop the motherfucking
That's what I'm
mic. I
talking.
keep trying to tell y'all, but see, they think I'm just ghetto. Hold on, gotta drop the bomb. Hold on, gotta drop the bomb too. One more. Let it just go loud. It's gonna simmer. Then the bomb gonna come back again. Listen. These braces get on my nerves. Listen. We's trying to help y'all. We like Harriet Tubman. We trying to get y'all free. We like George Clinton and the Parliament. Free your mind and your ass will follow. The woman Audrey Denda just said, I agree with Kilo. I had to learn though. Cause if you go through some of my old YouTube videos, you will see the growth in the Negro. Okay. I was that chick. Now I wasn't that bad, but I was that chick. Okay. And when I went to Africa, and I had these same little. I was like, I want to learn how to do some tribal braids. When I found the pictures too. And I'm gonna say it again. And I know y'all, how many times you gonna tell us? So I'm gonna tell it as many times as I need to get y'all to understand. Y'all think y'all doing something with them traces. That's what they call French braids in the Gambia. Tray as in 3, because they speak French over there too. No, it's 5 levels of braiding. Cheryl watched Fatu try to teach the first one.
Tell you something. What gas was that talked about phalanges? It was Queen Roche.
Queen Roche.
It's just phalange. Let me tell you something. My fingers could not even get in the rhythm of how they were grabbing and doing
that mop braiding. And that's just the Gambia. I don't even know what they doing in other parts.
We ain't even talk about right. You just in the Gambia. You ain't in Kenya. You see what I'm saying? You ain't even there.
I mean that
as Black Americans, we are westernized and we are educated. We have no excuse, none, to get on the same page with the rest of the diasporic world and stop being lazy and sitting in our colonial definition educational bullshit.
Look at my colonial stuff up on the wall. Ooh, look, there goes some Negro Josephine Baker. Right. I got some more Negro stuff. Look at that bootleg knockoff Egyptian.
Right.
Black power.
You understand what I'm trying to say? We have to. I think it is our responsibility to get into the 21st century. And I think that it is this time for us to not hide behind the culture
and go get
into the man.
Go get it.
Myriad.
She says, go. Audrey, tell them to go on over to Kenya. Come on. Let Audrey say, y'all going. The flight are not that expensive, y'all. When you get over there, you got cousins. I'm here to tell you. They give you everything. If you think people down south is nice, They ain't got shit on nobody in Africa. Baby, you ain't got to worry about no place to stay, no place to eat. They get you a husband, a goat, a cat, a dog, whatever you want. So don't even worry about where I'm gonna stay. You gonna be, they gonna rob. Ain't nobody trying to rob you over there, okay? Get your butt off of this YouTube channel and get on that airplane, get your little passport now, and get on over and go to Kenya and tell them Audrey Denda said we have over 40 tribes over here with their own culture. I'm here to learn. Don't just believe Ladosha, the hair oracle, and Audrey. We're trying to help you guys to understand. Get motivated. Get involved.
And especially my fellow texture experts and quite experienced, because I can say I believe the baddest.
She said, "Come on." She can set up a whole. Y'all don't understand. See, y'all be, we gotta wait till it's just right. Africa, they ain't got time for that. Just get on. Listen, Fatu was like, "Come on, who y'all got? Come on, let's go." It started off with 20 people wanted to go to Africa. At the end of the day, it was 5 of us, and they welcomed us like we was don't. It was like amazing. Go home. And be
learn.
free.
Go home and learn.
You have no, I can't wait to go back. I'm probably gonna kiss the ground again when I go back. It's like no other. It's nothing. So, and we're not trying to really make people feel bad about where you're at. We're letting you know it's a higher level where none of this classification. I mean, imagine being in a place where everybody is just like, what's happening, black? It's just a beautiful thing. They don't care what color you are. It was Asians over there. It was Indians over there. It was all kinds of people, mostly dark. Okay, but they wasn't on that. Oh, look, it's a biracial. Look, it's an Indian and it's a black, it's an African and it's a Chinese. They're like, it's just 2 humans that got together in the wild thing. They got a baby. What's the problem? It's just that simple. What's up, Yate? Okay, are you guys getting it? Culture is culture the king.
The culture is like taking a big, huge watermelon and taking a little pin drop and then calling that the watermelon. It's not the watermelon. And the watermelon has so many different other parts of the watermelon. And I think that as Black Americans, especially my texture specialists, my barber specialists, my cosmetology specialists, people who are natural hair providers,
can I just say,
understand culture. It's not a monolith. It's not a thing.
It's something that you
it's not a thing.
It's not even necessarily a destination. It's an experience. Right. I'm telling you, when I went over, you know what I thought was gonna make me so Black, Audrey? Make me so African. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm not my booty. Nope, not my nose. I know what y'all. Nope, not my hair. Nope, not the color of my skin. Because they already was calling me white. Audrey, they tell them they're gonna call you white people now. I don't care how Black, how many African medallions you got. I got so much African stuff. Look at my house. I got the coldest African Century starter kit you could ever see, baby. I was over there with. They were like, you going out African to African. But I'm gonna tell you right now, what I thought was gonna make me so African was my ability to do cornrow braids. But when they snapped me with that mop braiding,
when
they slapped me with that fofo and that fa and that sassoon. Now we can do the sassoon. They call air braids in America. I see Spritz and them will rock the sassoon now. That we can get that. But that fa, that fofo, and that mop, I could do that 2-strand twist. And everybody in the, you should have seen them at the Afro Hairstyle Summit. They was like, "Oh, I'm the coldest braider." Move, they was pushing me out the way. The white folks was up in there. I could do this. I'm telling you, if you think you are that and you think braiding in America, those cornrow braids that we all the Fulani braids, y'all talking about, baby, if you better give it that.
I have to say one thing. And I'm gonna
That
give it.
shut me down.
I got to give.
I was
credit.
crying.
I got to give
crying.
credit where credit is due. The young boys, they gave it the old college try, baby.
Oh,
and they would take a breath, and they would look up at at the teacher at Fatu and be like, okay, all right, wait a minute, okay.
And you can't. It's nothing you can watch on YouTube. You cannot watch this on YouTube. You cannot. So don't ask, can we get it? No, go. She just said, ha, ha, ha. Come on over here. Go. We invited you guys to travel with us to Africa. You cannot learn it on YouTube. Learning mop braiding, learning 4 strands, learning 5-5. You think lock twisting and what's that stuff that you go back and forth? Sister locking and no, ma'am.
No,
very
ma'am.
element. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. Please come. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. You just have to experience it. That is what it's all about. But we have this as we got 2 more. Here's this one here. Again, culture is king. But this white girl says, hold on now. White folks, y'all better cut this out. Stop this, white people.
PSA for my fellow white curly girls, the natural hair movement is not ours to take over. Black people started the natural hair movement because their natural hair has been a source of their discrimination and oppression in Western countries for literal centuries. Sure, a lot of us growing up with curly hair got teased or told that our hair looked messy, but we didn't get dress coded for it. We've had bad haircuts, but we've never had a teacher forcibly cut our hair in front of a crowd. White people are the ones who set the Western beauty standards, and we basically ensured that Black people would always fall short of them. Don't get me wrong, I am so glad that so many of us are embracing our hair the way that it grows out of our head. But this does not give us license to enter a space of cultural revolution and take it over for ourselves. The natural hair movement is something we get to learn from, not something we get.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
How's that, Cafele?
And fair enough. And then too, one of the things that we do forget, not all Black people have curly hair, and not all white people have straight hair.
Yeah.
We have got to get that in our spirit.
And she's speaking to the westernized American created natural hair movement.
Yes.
Now she went over into Africa, to the Gambia. They would like, what you talking about? They would not know what she's talking about. But that culture that they would be Black American culture is what she is speaking to. That culture is not the king and queen of all the hair that naturally grows from your scalp. It is a Black American thing. There's our new language. Okay. So when you go over to various parts of Africa, there are different levels to how they manipulate this fiber. And if braiding is your thing, and you think, like I said, you think locking, 2-strand twist, cornrow braidings, and this thing called tribal braids, and all the braids, you think that's the height, and you the coldest, and you the magic fingers.
And you guys have to hear Trump when he talks about, because he thinks he's the baddest, Captain America, because he sits into the largest consuming market on earth. Black Americans have an advantage because we are Black, sitting in the largest market on planet Earth. So it would think that when we do something, it automatically becomes what we call consumer influencers. We do dictate influence. We do guide and do set trends. We are that because we happen to be in the largest and greatest market on the planet. But just because we have secular advantages commercial advantages. And
financial.
most of us, in financial and economic, absolutely. Doesn't mean we're leading. Doesn't mean we're leading. We had our originators. Doesn't mean that those are the only things that exist. And if we can encompass all that does exist, pull them into our greatest market known to man, and share alike, and just, kind of, deploy all of the correct critical information, and we can get this right, then we can invite many cultures in, and then we can take the advantage of the profits and the markets and the capitalization. But if we don't, North American Black people are just going to keep talking about how painful we are and how square we are, and no one's gonna tell me that my hair can't do this and my hair is my coat. We're gonna just keep the 20th century 1960 talk.
Yeah, because there's no way for all the amount of money that we are making on cornrow braids in America and adding hair to it, calling it what do we call it? What we call it, Yate, when you add hair? Box braids and knotless braids and feeder braids. We got all these damn braids, but them the only three we know how to intertwine. Imagine how much more money. You talk about tax and tariffs, right? They go put all that tariff on all that hair that they say is a carcinogen, whatever they gonna call it. Okay,
right.
And ain't nobody gonna go to Africa and learn a new braiding technique. I just told you guys, you're only on two, because locks doesn't count. So you got 2-strand twist, aka twist out. You have all the various forms of French braidings, from feeder to box to knotless. That's all you got. But if you took some of that money and went over to Kenya, where Miss Dendra is, okay, and Fatu, there's three other. You got mop braiding, you got Fofo, you got Fafa, and you got Sassoon. Look at that other alternate income earning potential. They can't put no tariff on that, baby. You can do so much.
And if y'all gonna talk about culture, if y'all gonna talk about it, you can't put a tariff on culture.
Can't put a tariff on that, boo. Can't do nothing with that. But what he gonna do?
What you gonna do about it?
You heard the African. She just said, "Come on over." What Rihanna say? Come on in. There ain't nothing between you and us, baby, but space and opportunity. I'm from the hood. That's how we gets down. Don't limit yourself to them 3 strands of hair. I learned the map braiding. Best believe, baby. Best believe.
Oh, okay, wait. You can do it.
I'm going over there with my fingers with no wax. They don't use wax. No grease and no shea butter. And I can get that technique. I got it. And I still practice it, okay? And it's for a certain... Man, listen, I'm here to tell you, it's so much more. It's so much more. Here is our last clip, and I think this is a nice way to close it out. And we are, again, thank you guys so much. Those thumbs up, but we got a couple of more thumbs up, but we'll take it. We'll take the 2 more thumbs up. We ain't going to be, getting out here, though I want to be, but we ain't going to be. Thank you. We appreciate it. So here it is. Again, this is the culture of braiding. As we wind this down, our 153rd episode. Here you go, Cheryl.
Braids are more than a hairstyle. They're a language of heritage and identity. Dating back over 5,000 years, braids originated in Africa, with intricate styles symbolizing tribe, status, and age. In ancient times, braids were a way to communicate. Patterns like cornrows indicated where someone was from, their marital status, or even their social rank. During the transatlantic slave trade, braids became a form of resistance. Enslaved Africans used them to map escape routes and hide grains for survival. Despite centuries of oppression, braids remain a symbol of resilience and cultural pride. Today, African braids are a global phenomenon, celebrating beauty and craftsmanship while honoring ancestral traditions. Every twist tells a story, a legacy woven into strands of strength and style.
Hey, Shirley. Be nice. We have a former elected official in the chat, so let's not be so ghetto. Want me to start it off? What the hell was she talking about? Now that's the dumbest shit, and the dumbest shit that people say about black hair is that dang on narrative about them putting them seeds in them cornrow braids during the transatlantic slave trade. First of all, that is not an
I don't know where we get it from. I don't know who told us that.
It's I traced that story. I remember when that story came out in the New York Times. It's a oral tradition. It's a story. I'm sorry, not an oral tradition. It's a story told in South America. Now, I'm not South American, and I'm not about to try to tell them people what their history is. But you know good and well, ain't no slave master let no black African put no seeds in.
And we talk about it the same way. Yeah.
We can't do that, y'all. We
I don't know how to move us forward. And I'm pretty sure the audience listening is saying, move us forward where?
Sorry, sir.
I ain't trying to read whatever that is.
Tiki said, I saw this young lady on trying to put that rice in her hair and braid it up. The rice. I love this. I love y'all. Give y'all hug. Tiki, I should have known when your name was Tiki. I knew you was gonna be my mofo. I already knew. What's up, WNRV 1081?
Check this out.
We see you over there. I need to come and get my hair cut. I'm still jocking you over there on Instagram, baby. I see you doing major thing. You got them license. Congratulations. She saw the set. I saw the same video.
Check this out. Now, I can tell you right now, if I knew I was about to be somebody's slave, I wouldn't be packing shit. I can tell you that right now. Because I can tell you one thing I do know 9 times out of 10 I will not have is land to plant it on. If I was gonna be somebody's slave, I knew that I wasn't gonna have no land.
They're showing you. Look at the deplorable, and I do mean that is a slave trade. What number 45 did to that young man, and all those Venezuelans that he took over to that other country and shaved off their. You think them people sitting in them jail cells gonna somehow cornrow and put something and get out?
And all that rice coming out and all that contraband.
Y'all think that's going? Look, these people is crazy. People who do that kind of stuff, they're sick, they're demented. I couldn't even work in no shit like that. There's no way I would even think of putting another human being in that, especially somebody who didn't do something.
You would have to get the same human being that believed in this was right, and so usually they're white male.
That's, I mean, yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. And then they're going to say, well, you know, he got pulled over and he got into a fight with us. Like, I don't give a F-U-C-K. In this country, you're supposed to have due process. Now, when y'all get past all of that, then come talk to me. And you save those people and put them in what the French toast, Kyle, what the French toast and bologna sandwich are they talking about? And put some seeds in it. That is not our history. Like I said, I'm not from South America. You can go over there. That is a oral story that someone told to one of their great.
Right. I don't think you get. I mean, because let me just say this. Before I would grab some rice, I'd grab
a knife.
I'd grab a knife. I'd grab a comb. I'd grab some
poison. I'm gonna kill somebody.
I'd grab and I'd hide that, and I would not hide.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, where were they gonna grow these seeds at? I mean, what land was enslaved? Like, once you got free, right? And you went. Let's say you went north, and Harriet Tubman and everybody got you on the Underground Railroad. What? How?
That's you will not be thinking about seeds.
And I don't know anything about rice, but can you take some white rice and put it in the ground and
according
more?
According to Beyonce, you can make some rice water out of it and put it in your ears. I mean, you know, we're just raising the question. We have to.
She said she saw one lady sprinkle some sesame seeds. I mean, what do you think the sebum oil and you got to keep in mind your hair grows every day, all day, right? So where they gonna sit at for you to figure out this map? Like, I mean, just make it make sense.
And here we go.
Like,
again.
what? So you went and you saw the property of where they're gonna take you to, and then you gonna come back and say, Cheryl told me that the map looked like Ladosha's head, the plantation, like this where Massa live right here, and then this is all the cornfield up in here. Okay, and this back here is how you're gonna get out.
This back here is the Confederacy.
That's the Confederacy. So over here is the north, where the North Star is. When you see this braid, it's the North Star. You're gonna follow it. Look what Shirley wrote.
You
and wasn't marijuana seeds. It was 420. I was waiting on the 420 to come through. Was it marijuana seeds they put in their hair? Because you can grow them now. I know my mama used to grow marijuana. I ain't ashamed to say it. My mama grew marijuana in the house.
And wait a minute, and let's be clear. They was called hemp seeds.
Hemp seeds, excuse me.
Okay. Hemp is still Alabama's #1 cash crop. Hemp is California's #1 cash crop. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hemp goes into flooring, walls, fabric, furniture, the whole damn nine. Come on now. Hemp is good for this food, shakes, all kind of stuff. My point is that just goes to show you how much we don't know about the plantation.
Yeah.
But we don't even have an appreciation for how severe and vicious and nasty and filthy and scary and horrible the plantation was. Your people were in neurological collapse. They were complete robots. And so I suggest you guys go see the movie Sinners, by the way.
Yeah, me and Chris.
I think you should go see it, and we should come back and review it.
Okay, we can do that.
Because at the end of the day, the plantation is, and if we could really shift gears, because how much culture could we talk about if you're in a cult? And the root word of culture is cult.
Yeah. I don't think they realize it's a cult.
You don't think so?
No, that natural hair movement, that is a cult. That's not my, that's,
you don't think they know?
That's no, they know. They don't know. They don't know that it's a cult. I think they think it's a movement. It's like it's likened to a Black Panther movement. I don't know why, because they ain't did nothing but take folks' money and, like the girl said, a whole bunch of missed stuff. And thank God for YouTube that allow us to kind of clear some of this stuff up, because there's
And if someone wants to clarify your statement and why it's not a movement, would somebody like to really approach that in the chat? Why natural hair care is not a movement?
As we wrap it up, anybody want to take a stab at that?
Probably the most important question probably we've ever asked us, because this is the 25th year. We are one generation in. And what did the millennial generation or the Gen Z or the latter end of the millennial age, what did it render? And so the question is, why is the natural hair 25 years later? Why isn't it a movement?
Let's see if we got any answers. LinkedIn, you want to take a stab at it? Anyone on LinkedIn?
All right, come on, smart asses. Come on, LinkedIn, come on. Why isn't the natural, come on, Mr. Kafele, all y'all, come on, all y'all natural hair texture specialists. Why isn't? And if you want to prove or to say me and Ladosha are wrong, I can prove it in one statement. Why it's not a movement? It's a cult.
The one that says, "Oh no, I'm in a cult." Oh yeah, we tell you, get out of that. Only thing they're gonna take is your money. They ain't gonna give you no hair. Okay, no answers, Cheryl. So
no answers.
No answers. They're here to learn. Isn't that right, Tiki? What's up, Kai? Looking good over there.
Because movements do not enrich capitalism. All the natural hair care movement, a cult, they enriched. And of course, the latest cult that gave us this president is called MAGA. It's a cult. Cults do enrich capitalists. The natural hair care is not a movement. Movements revolutionize. They come up with resolution.
Mm-hmm.
They do change the nature of the thought process and the mind and the state of mind of its people who are in the movement. People in movements are not followers. They make change and revolutionize, innovate. They do not keep the status quo in place, and they do not enrich the industries that they are designed to fight against. And that is what has happened within the last 25 years. And also, a cult is people who are involved in a so-called movement, and they have the lowest level of information. And that is what because of course, let's just say, like people who want to keep the status quo, they will call the liberal, or the people who want to free the mind, they will call them woke. And so therefore, I may sound woke to most natural hair care people who think they're involved in the natural hair care movement. But because I want you guys to understand that here in America, in North America, we are the leaders of every direction. We are like the sunburst in the center of the natural beauty universe. So we cannot afford to be what we call anti-biodiversity, DEI, against the rest of the world and think we own the culture when we know other people exist. And I understand it's a habit of ours to be just like the colonizers that colonized us. We now want to colonize natural hair, curly hair, Afro curly hair, what it means to be curly, what it means to be coiled and kinky and twisted and locked and braided. We now want to colonialize it and create this ownership and then define it for the rest of the world. That is the very thing that got us in the trick bag in the Western world in the first place. So we need to be nomadic in our thinking and say all belongs to the gamut. Now, if we want to try to understand it, we got to get our boots on the ground, get our passports, and go like.
Where them fans at? Gotta do it.
That's all this podcast is trying to challenge you. And we're going to get on the other side because we are going to, and you can't put a tariff on culture. And we have a lot of cultures to consume and to bring back to North America and then disperse it back to other markets. Because once we consume it in our Black American, North American black hole, whatever comes out, baby, gonna be on fire.
Fire!
People are gonna be able to, then it's gonna go viral, then it's gonna go global, and then it's gonna go, and then, and I think that is the power we're not using as Black Americans.
Just that simple. Why? Because of this right here.
No problems with the accoutrements of culture. No problems with that. The accoutrements of culture are valuable, important, symbolic, giving internal signals to the subliminal representation of a certain recognition of our inner being, which is reflected in terms of the outer expression of what cultural symbolism may happen to be. That's cute. But it is no more than an intended catalyst for an inner birth. So we have been engaged in a conflict over costumes. We've got a major production here to change the world, and we're engaged in conflict over costume.
Culture.
It's a catalyst for an inner new birth. Mm-hmm. Man, well said.
There you go. That's it. Dr. Naeem Akbar. Go check him out over on Tap Videos. Don't forget our YouTube channel of the month that we are promoting. We're pushing. You like our content? Don't forget to go over and check out our homegirl, Yate. She is over at Real Roots TV right here on YouTube. So check her out. The Yate, the barber stylist. That's Real Roots right here. Also, don't forget, we pick back up on our Fête du Jour the last Sunday of every month. We'll be picking back up in May. All right. So that's happening. And then this Thursday, we'll be back with Mr. Latif Hughes. He is the founder of Schoolhouse Productions. If you own your own business and you got your marketing plan, you got everything, but you still ain't got no customers. How do you promote this thing? How do you promote your business? How do you get the word out? How do you get more customers? Mr. Latif is going to give us some insight into why and how. I'm sorry?
You got that flyer?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, I sent it to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make sure I show it. I'll put the flyer up. Okay. All right. Yay. So Mr. Latif is going to be here with us on Thursday at 9:00 p.m. And then our last topic, when we talk about the social aspects of natural hair for the month of April, now we're going to talk about the role of men.
Ooh.
In the natural hair movement. Ooh, where y'all men at? Men braiders, men locticians, men stylists, men on the barbershop, men everything men in hair, So let's see what these brothers, where the men's at. When a man's at, okay? So we're going to talk about men in the natural hair movement. Are they complicit or what they doing, okay? So there you have it, all right? So C.R.O.W.N, welcome. There is so much to learn and share. Love the podcast. You guys rock. And don't forget, She said, come on over.
Karabuni.
Yes. C.R.O.W.N. Welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, and we will be back on Thursday. And don't forget what we say when we're signing out, right? We are always talking about a whole lot of peace, right, Cheryl? A whole lot of love, and for sure, a whole lot of hair. But check it out. If you ain't got none, don't want none, can't grow it. Hell, you plan on cutting it off because you got them damn bald patches. You're going to show some, put some stuff. Go on, do what you need to do out here, right? Because all that's beautiful too, and so are you. Ain't that right, WK? WK said that's right. All that's beautiful. Deuces, my good people. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you guys so much. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming, get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.